The interesting thing about humanoid robots is that the form factors are still open. So that means you have this moving target where intelligence decides the sensor suite and the mechanics, the actuators, the electronics, the communication. But then all of these things, the mechanics, the actuators, the electronics, the communication, they also decide the intelligence. And this is akin to cognitive science, where some work that I've discussed recently when I was discussing the book about cognitive science. The author eludes me now. But just a few episodes ago, I spoke about a Princeton cognitive scientist who wrote the book. And there he spoke about the fact that human intelligence, according to cognitive science research, also evolved based on the constraints of our sensor suite. And therefore, you have to look at intelligence as a dynamic between the actual cognitive abilities and the physical sensors and actuators and an embodiment that the object is in. In the case of humans, it's us, and in the case of a humanoid robot, it's the robot. So it's interesting how these two vectors are moving at the same time. And in the industry, the question, of course, is like, how do you commit to, let's say, building actuators and components for something that you're not even sure how it's going to evolve, but then also what kind of intelligence are you building for what kind of sensor suite? So this is a really interesting problem, which I think will be solved like most technologies are solved, that somebody will have to take a risk, a big risk, and commit to a scaled production of something, and that somebody is most likely going to be Tesla. And then the industry will follow. And if it's a success, the industry will scramble to get into the supply chain, akin to, let's say, the Apple iPhone, the Tesla cars. And then, China will copy everything and do the same thing and all that, or the industry will not. So I think that's roughly the way we see it. And there is, this is a forcing function. There is no other way this can evolve. I just met a senior technology person from Infineon, a German chip company, and I think they are, I'm sure, a good proxy for any other component supplier. They're not going to commit to anything until they see volume commitments by a large player, and that large player in the humanoid robot space almost certainly can only be Tesla. It's not going to be Google. It's not going to be anybody else. It's not going to be a Chinese player. It's going to be Tesla. So this is almost a forcing function. Elon Musk has opened up the gates for the humanoid robots, and people are now waiting for Tesla to decide which technology is going to be implemented at scale. And then we'll see if that works. Now, the reason we're bullish on the humanoid robots is because we believe that Tesla is the only company which has a real monetizable use case, and that is the humanoids in space, which will deliver space AI data centers or help deliver them. Also, the Cybercab network, the humanoids will be a big part of the maintenance and operations team. So those are two highly monetizable assets where humanoid robots can quickly become instrumental, because the way humanoid robots, or the way we see the robotics market in general, is they will be deployed in particular in places where humans shouldn't be, or don't want to be, or where they're too expensive. And the other thing I wanted to say is, as far as the solution to the humanoid robot problem in general, there's two ways this can go. One way would be that you solve task by task, job by job. You have a humanoid robot for the home, a humanoid robot for, fixing data centers in space, humanoid robot for this, humanoid robot for that. Or which would be kind of similar if you take a large language model space. It would be similar to having a model that can do translation, a model that can do poetry, a model that can do marketing, a model that can do math, and so on and so forth. Or you're going to have a solution like the large language model space, where it was, one model doing it all, at least in general. So one model, whether it's GPT or Grok, is better at doing almost any task than the specific model. And the jury is still open in robotics because it's embodied and physical. There's a good chance that we'll have more differentiation just because physics differentiates more. Like you have, let's say, small robots and large robots that can lift heavy weights, and robots that have extreme dexterity. So there's definitely like the same way humans are different. Anything in embodied in physics, it takes different shapes. Fighter jets are different, tanks are different, guns are different, surfboards are different because waves are different. So there's the one size fits all solution doesn't seem to us very reasonable here. But it's interesting to think about the possible implementation of form factors in the humanoid robot space. And still, back to the point we made about space AI and things like that, we believe that Tesla is best positioned in delivering actionable humanoid robots because they have the use cases, the monetizable use cases, and the best forcing function for technology, particularly this kind of utility technology like a humanoid robot, is to have use cases that you can iterate around. That's the key. You can iterate around, you can improve the robot, the intelligence, the sensor suite. You can optimize around use cases that are monetizable. And that's where we see the biggest upside for Tesla. Thank you.